We're here in sunny San Antonio to speak with a legendary basketball player, businessman, and philanthropist. He's a 10-time NBA All-Star, a 2-time Olympic gold medalist, has 2 NBA championships to his name, and he's also a watch collector. His name is David Robinson, aka the Admiral, and today we're talking watches. David, thank you so much for sitting down with us. Really excited about this, and especially in such a great space. Can you tell us a little bit about where we are?
Yeah, we're at the Carver Academy. It's a place my wife and I started 15 years ago or so. Time flies. But we wanted to give lower income kids, particularly from the east side of San Antonio here, an opportunity to get focused to college. So we wanted to kind of light that path. Why do you need to go to college? And how do you get there? And so this space was created so that those kids would have that dream. And we have 10,000 students here in San Antonio, and our goal is to send every single one of them to college. And we've done that for the last 15 years, and we're going to continue to do that as we grow.
It's a fantastic endeavor, and philanthropy has been a big part of your life since transitioning out of the basketball world.
Absolutely.
But for people who might be a little bit younger and may not remember your basketball career, could you share a few of the highlights there? I mean, obviously,
the highlights are all around us here.
We're kind of surrounded by highlights.
Actually, in this high school, we made, in Carver Prep School, we made a museum, which we're in right now. And in the museum, it's kind of a track history of our Spurs path. And everyone knows over the last 25 years, San Antonio Spurs have been one of the best, not only teams in the NBA, but I think one of the best organizations in all of sports.
2 championships, you're on the dream team.
Yeah.
Multiple performances at the Olympics.
Amazing journey. When you couldn't write the script for it. I was on the last college Olympic team in '88 when we turned it over to pros, and maybe the best basketball team ever put together in the dream team. I mean, it was an amazing team. That's an amazing experience.
And at what point in your timeline did you start to become interested in watches?
Wow, early on.
Yeah.
Coming out of high school, going into college, they gave us watches for the tournaments we'd go to.
Okay.
So, we went to the Hawaiian Classic in Oahu, and so we got a very cool Hawaiian Classic watch. So that kind of started my collection, and I liked watches from there. I didn't have a lot of money, so I would buy Pops watches and other things, and so I just had like a little drawer full of watches, which I thought was fun. And then, then trouble comes when you actually get a little money and you say, well, let's take this up a notch.
From what's on the table here, where do we kind of start?
I think I'd probably, start with,
a cool one.
Yeah, start with this Piaget. This, my teammates have always known about my love for watches. And actually, when I was playing and I would get, I think when I won MVP, I gave everyone on my team a watch. It was a Bertolucci at the time. Okay. I just thought they were a lot of fun. Stainless steel Bertolucci, beautiful watches. But just to kind of get them tuned into, hey, what this world of watches was about at the time. And when I retired, Tim Duncan gave me this watch. And it's a very unusual watch with a kind of a different type of a deployant clasp that comes around the face of the watch, which is fantastic. And on the back, he engraved it to me. It says 250, my teammate, mentor, and friend. So this watch has a special place in my collection, although typically with my big hands and wrists, I don't wear small face watches, but this will never leave my collection right here.
It's a really cool piece, and a really fun history, especially in you were saying that you were picking up watches for teammates, kind of mentoring them into the passion.
Absolutely, I'm always trying to get them to understand what my crazy mind is thinking. So that was a fun thing that kind of coming back from me sharing with my teammates. So. And then as your life changes, your watch selections change. I think early on, I've always loved, just beautiful gold watches. I mean, that's kind of the old classic look. And so, you go with a Frank Mueller.
Closer to your size for your wrist.
Yeah, you got to go with the King Conquistador, right? You got to go with the big boy. So, this one is perfect because it fits my wrist well. Frank Mueller's a beautiful watchmaker, and this is kind of classic what he's about. And I love the big numbers on the dial, always easy to read for me, especially as I get older now, it's kind of nice.
It has such a distinctive style.
Yeah, it's a beautiful style. This was one of the earlier ones that I had picked up. I love that classic old, gold style watch. But being an athlete, you don't really wear these a lot. So there wasn't a lot of instances where, I liked wearing kind of lighter, easy take on, take off watches that I didn't worry about losing in the locker room. Sure. But this was a good kind of go out watch and see what's in the world. And along that line, probably my favorite watchmaker is Ulysse Nardin. This piece in particular is a minute repeater where the 3 guys on a beautiful dial here that tap the bells and they correspond to the time. for me, it's kind of probably the statement piece in my whole collection. Probably it is the statement piece in my whole collection. I love that watch. It means a lot from the watchmaker that I admire.
For sure, and you had said that a lot of the watches had been selected at various cities that you would travel to. Obviously,
Yes.
the job required a lot of travel.
Absolutely.
And tell me a little bit about the offshore.
Well, the offshore, my family during the summer times, and we love San Antonio, but it gets a little hot here in the summertime. So,
Yeah.
And my wife loves beaches, so we said, well, we're going to go get a place on the beach. We went out to Hawaii, found a place on the Big Island, and just fell in love with it. So my boys, from the time they were small, grew up going to Hawaii, and we spent a ton of time in the water, paddling, snorkeling. They all got certified scuba diving out there. So I wanted something that reflected that water lifestyle. You know, it's a great outdoorsman watch. You know, everybody knows the Royal Oak shape and the style of the watch, and you know, this one is a perpetual calendar.
The beautiful dial too.
Oh, beautiful blue dial, and it obviously goes well with, you know, kind of casual clothes, but it also dresses up well. As you can see, it's not unworn.
No, that's what.
So this one has a lot of life to it. And really, even to this day, I've had it maybe 20 years, and it's still one of my favorite watches to wear every day.
Yeah, when we first saw the watches out on the table, I noticed, you know, getting in a little bit closer with them, a lot of them are worn. They've got their scratches, their dents. So you're not babying them. I love it. I think it's great.
No, they're life watches. I mean, I don't think I buy anything. I don't care whether it's a home or a watch that I don't plan on using. I always think about the investment value, but at the end of the day, if you don't use it, it's not going to do you a whole lot of good. All these watches, I think I've tried to buy with that in mind, and I think the Rolex, I mean, Rolex has obviously got a lot of classic styles. I mean, I see you have the GMT on, which is a beautiful watch, and it's a great everyday watch. So that's one of the things I love about the Rolex, especially with the stainless steel band. Great everyday watch, and it's just a classic watch. And I think I was telling you that I had a Submariner.
Yeah.
That was one of my favorite watches before this. That when my son went off to college, I gave it to him. I said, this is my gift for you for college. It's your one dress-up watch now, and you can enjoy it. And I haven't seen it since. So,
Well,
so the college life swallowed up that watch, I believe.
yeah.
But this is kind of the next step in that evolution for me, and I love that classic look of that Rolex. You know, when I was playing, one of the watches that was very popular was the Big Bang from
sure.
Hublot, and I think I was in Miami when I bought this one, and so yeah, it was just a
it's a good Miami watch.
Yeah, it's a great Miami watch, right? So at the time, I was looking for a particular styling that I liked. So the black face with the black band and the rubber band being particularly comfortable was a perfect choice for this watch. So yeah, I got this one, and this has been a very nice staple of my collection that I wear quite a bit as well.
And not unlike the Royal Oak Offshore, the Big Bangs have a certain ability to be very casual, but also kind of special at the same time.
Right, they play both sides of the fence very well. The Royal Oak Offshore, I think, is a little bit more waterproof, real, get in the water type of a watch.
Did you get into diving yourself?
I do. I've been certified for a long time, for 25 years.
The offshore goes with you?
Absolutely.
I
I've
love
taken
that.
it out diving with me, absolutely.
That's fantastic.
So you know, I mean, you can go with the Panerai or the or the Royal Oak, or there's quite a few watches that I have that will actually go diving with.
And tell me about the Journe.
You know, this thing is, I love the classic old school steampunk kind of style. And this is a dual time, obviously. It's got the 2 time zones on it, and it's got the power reserve on it, which is very nice. But just the styling, it's got the platinum case, so it's a nice feeling case. It's a heavy case. It doesn't feel too light, but a slim profile. And
very slim, yeah.
Yeah, and he doesn't make a ton of watches, so you know it's unusual. You know when you wear it, there probably won't be anyone else around who's wearing this watch. But a fantastic watch that could be an everyday watch, could be a special occasion watch. So
it's also a really great watch to kind of show other people, especially you flip it over and you can kind of explain what they're seeing. There's no rotor in the way. It's just gorgeous. Right?
Absolutely.
This is a really cool watch to show the passion.
You know, when you have this kind of obsession as a hobby, you know, it's fun to share it with people. And I think when people see a piece like this and how well crafted this is, I think they kind of get why you might want to wear it. I mean, it's
for sure.
It's a piece of jewelry that never loses its luster.
Right.
I mean, I've had this for 15 years, and it looks brand new.
Yeah, for sure.
It's a fantastic watch.
And anything else on your radar these days? Things you're following? Things you're appreciating?
Oh man,
brands you're getting into?
I mean, my wife got me this Panerai for my birthday 2 years ago, and so this has really taken over my rotation recently. Yes, because obviously want to show my wife my appreciation, but the Panerai watch itself is such a lately they've done a phenomenal job with all their styling. I'd probably say it's been my main watch in rotation for the last year and a half.
Very, very cool.
Yeah, very fun.
For the dedicated basketball fans and certainly Olympics fans, tell us a little bit more about what it was like to do the Dream Team, to be part of that, and obviously to have earned a position on probably one of the finest basketball groupings.
Yeah, the Dream Team was a very special group, and I think very seldom do you find yourself in a time where you know that time will be remembered forever. For sure. And so I think all of us came into it knowing how special it was going to be. But I think it even exceeded all of our expectations. And when you go out to play a game and then the other team comes out and wants to take pictures before the game, and they're posing and hugging you, and you think, okay, this is a unusual situation here. But it was a phenomenal experience. Barcelona was fantastic. And there's actually a watch that I bought for myself during that time. It was a Rolex Daytona, a gold Rolex Daytona. So that's a fun watch that kind of reminds me of that time. It doesn't have a direct link to the Olympics, but it's a reminder of that. Yeah, it's gold and gold. Yeah, so yeah, it's a good reminder of that experience.
David, I can't thank you enough for taking the time to sit down with us and giving us a bit of history on the basketball career and the philanthropy and, of course, the watches. This has been a real treat. Thank you.
Oh, my pleasure. Well, thank you. I love talking about watches, so it's fun to share my joy for watches, and if it encourages anybody, I think that's good.